Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. Woo! We're going into a new era. I call it the era of transformation. Now, get ready, because as I shared with you in my New Year message, I'm going to be giving you more instructional things in as many videos as I can. We're always going to have these discussions and answer your questions, but I always want to give you practical, very simple exercises and or answers to get you on track when you have some doubts or you feel a little bit lost. And that's what teachers do, right? We just give you the tools, but you have to use those tools. So just remember this. Transformation begins with your use of the information that you have, the messages, the tools, the mentors. No chaos and no coincidences. So start to pay attention, because I'm going to do a video on that, but right now I want to talk about those messages. So one of my subscribers, my lovely subscribers, said, you know, how do you read these messages? I mean, how do you ask for messages? How do you receive them? So I recently had this whole situation myself regarding messages. And by the way, we're going to keep slurping all the way through the next 10 years together or more. I say 10 years because who knows, YouTube may be something completely different by then. What are the messages? Okay. I recently asked for guidance, and I asked for a message on a decision that I have to make, that I absolutely decided I I'm going to make, I should say. What happened is I made a decision about a major thing in my life, and so I know which reality, which pathway I'm going to take, but along that pathway I get some choices there. So let's say you decide you're going to leave your job. By the way, this is nowhere near what I'm trying to figure out, right? What I am figuring out, I should say. Let's say you want to leave your job. You finally decide, okay, I'm definitely leaving my job. I'm done with it. You've made a decision. Yay, because again, you are the universe directing it, orchestrating it at all times. So number one, we are all one. You are the very energy that is actually doing everything. Reacting, really not even reacting, you just manifesting and switching into reality. It is you. So as soon as you make the decision, you, the energy, are shifting into that reality. All right, if you are sure and you know the difference when things start to happen, when you go, oh, I definitely know this, you know, and no matter what happens along the way, you're like, doesn't matter, I am getting out of that job. You've made a decision. Have you ever noticed that nobody can dissuade you? Because that's faith and knowing. That is the number one thing, is to be very sure about what you want, because that message has to be very clear. Now, when I say what you want, it may be to not be in that job. You definitely are going to leave it. So something will happen to get you out of it, but you may not know exactly which job you want to go to. We run into this constantly, and this is part of my thing. It's like, okay, I'm not 100% sure of the dynamics of that decision that I just made. I definitely know I'm going to make a switch over here, over to this place, but within there, what do I decide? So let's say you want to, like, you know, make a certain amount of money. You want to be respected at work. You want flexible hours. So put in place the things that are going to be truly important to you, and you don't have to worry about the other details. So let's say you say, well, I don't know what job I really want, or where, or how, or whatever. So start with the most important key dynamics. So what happened for me is then I started to get things according to certain criteria I had about my new decision. And they started to show up, like boom. And so I went and checked these things out and realized, okay, there was a component in there that I forgot to say that I required. So I added that to my list and said, you know what, this looks very awesome, but there's one component in there that's making me feel like I can't really make a decision on this. So what was the component? I added the component. Today, boom, something showed up for me, amazingly, that had all the components in there. Now I look at this opportunity and I'm like, there's one other thing that I really, really would love. So who knows if maybe something else will show up and switch all these, and we start to add and add and add. So this is truly important, that you don't get hung up on having to have the details, but know the basic, super important things to you and for you. So this is, right now I'm talking about manifesting, because the messages, you're going to be sent messages, opportunities, things are going to start to show up based on what's going on up here. So if you're not clear, you'll start to get a lot of stuff in that, you know, may not be quite right, but it allows you to then fine tune it. So we're going to fine tune our manifesting. All right? And it means you don't have to have the perfect answers immediately. It means that when you start to know what you want and you make a decision about a switch, I'm definitely going to get out of that relationship. It's been really bad for me. I've got to make this change and not get sucked back into negative things. This is 2019 and onward, is to not go back. Do not go back to that old pattern if you want to transition. Transformation means we must release the old patterns, old thinking, old beliefs. Make a decision about that new reality you want to shift into, know it's already done, and then fine-tune the message. All right, is this making sense? So many people, they don't really know what they want, but they know what they don't want, and that is the start of your manifestation, okay? So the universe will constantly send you messages, and you may say, and I did this, I'm like, so should I take this opportunity or should I wait? And then, so I guess for me, my message was, why am I questioning it? If I question taking it or not, and I didn't go, yes, this is it, then I guess there's still a component of that missing. And so I need to give that extra message out to the universe to say, okay, my desire is to go into a situation where I go, this is it. Oh yeah, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it has everything I need. I'm sorry, I'm saying the N word. I desire. Everything that I desire. I always have everything I need, and that's a fact. So this is when it gets a little tricky, because a lot of times we're looking for messages and we think, I'm not getting the messages, or you get something and you go, I don't know how to interpret this. So here's the critical factor within that, within fine-tuning your manifesting, is that you have free will and the universe will never decide anything for you. And so unfortunately, there will always be a little play in there that you have to make that decision yourself. And the universe isn't just going to make it happen, because unless you absolutely have made a clear-cut decision and you make the call and put the resume in at that job, or you inquire, or you look for the new job, you have to take that forward action, right? Feelings, focus, forward action. You have to take that forward action to make it happen. And you're only going to do that if it's something you feel strongly about, you're focused on, you really want it to happen, and then you start to take the action. So then everything falls into place for you. So those messages that you've been getting are always opportunities. All right? So I want you to remember, messages are always opportunities. And some people might say, well, wait a minute. I got a message that I shouldn't get in the car. You still have free will to get in the car. Even if you had this message that's probably not a good idea, something's going to happen when you get in the car. So many of us do get in the car, where we slough it off. So my next video is going to be, we're going to develop our intuition. We're going to start working on that this year, more than the manifesting the lottery ticket. We're going to start really focusing on true manifestation using our psychic and intuition abilities and powers. We all have it, because when you go into that space, you are now starting to manifest on a completely different level, and that's going to be part of my advanced manifestation videos, okay? So right now, this is fine-tuning your manifesting. Means you're putting the message out. If it's not super clear, the messages coming back to you will be somebody will say something, or something on TV shows up, or a sign or whatever, and you're maybe sloughing it off. It doesn't mean that this is exactly what you have to do. Remember this, we have free will within everything. Messages are only your own power sending back to you from a higher consciousness what you need to know, and what you desire to know, and what will assist you. You have to still make that decision about what you do with it. But you must pay attention to all of these messages and stuff, because you're the one that put that information out. So when it comes back, like for me, it wasn't clear cut. I really wanted somebody to sit down and make a choice for me. I was like, just make a choice, because, the ego says, what if I make the wrong choice? What if I choose this and something better comes along? We do this all the time. You cannot make a mistake, ever. You can never make a mistake. So let's say I made a choice. Let's say if it was a job, your job, and you think, should I take this job? I mean, it really seems ideal and everything, but, should I wait and let something else come in? Please give me a sign of what I should do. So if you put your message out there, and you put your fine-tuned manifesting message out, and you say, here are the critical components that I need for that new job, even if I don't know where it is or exactly what I'll be doing within it, but it's very important. And then you fine-tune it more as you get the opportunity to go, why didn't I love that? It seemed like the perfect one. What was missing from that? Oh, this component. I need I would prefer a female boss or a male boss who's, very easygoing, or the hours weren't right, or whatever. So then you start to fine-tune it. And then it will start to show up. So if you start to fine-tune it, and another opportunity comes, and you're going, I don't know what to do. This is a message. This is, wow, the universe gave me what I wanted, but it doesn't feel right. Well, even if you take the job, something will ultimately happen for it to not come through. If you absolutely are not in alignment with it, with your feelings and your focus, it's not going to be right. Something's going to happen, and that's not going to follow through. Have you guys ever experienced this? It's like, okay, I need to do this. This seems perfect, and you start to go through with it, and your gut's just telling you it's not. There's something not quite 100% right. You're not going, yes, I really feel that this is perfect. Then something ultimately happens to change that, and so it falls through, or some weird thing happens along the way. So I had blatant messages recently. I requested an answer about something I needed to make a decision on. I really did need to, because other factors are going on here, and I was required to give an answer on something. A whole series of messages showed up to say, absolutely do not do this, which seemed like a great decision for me. Absolutely do not do it. All right, so now I made a decision. Now I said, okay, I'm not going to do this, which means now I have to look at all these other options for me out here. So let's say absolutely don't take this job or whatever, or don't take that project or whatever. Again, I'm making this up, but because this is not what my situation is. So you go over here and you go, okay, I absolutely thought that was so great, but now I'm very clear, because all these things are going wrong, and now I'm very clear that the universe is showing me that my feelings and focus are giving a higher conscious message of what I want, and it's making sure that doesn't work out. And it's not independently acting. It's you making sure it doesn't work out, because you are absolutely, with your manifesting focus and feelings, making sure it doesn't happen. It's you doing it. I want to keep clarifying that you're always doing all of this. Even the messages are coming from your higher conscious self, because there is no separation of anything. There's no independent thing doing anything on your behalf. It's always a part of your energy. All right? So you are absolutely creating it yourself by connecting to that, and so things will or won't happen. So then you come over here. You say, okay, I got blatant messages because obviously I knew and was sending that energetic message out there that this really isn't right and I'm not feeling it. You come over here and you say, okay, now I had to switch gears. Wow, I wasn't even focused on that. What job do I take? And so again, you know what you want and you know why this wasn't working over here. What about that did you not follow through with or didn't feel good about? Why didn't it work? Then you take that information, you come over here and say, okay, I want, and let's say it's a relationship or whatever. What didn't work over here? Everything seemed perfect. There's this perfect person. Well, if it didn't work out, it's not your perfect person. Why did that dissolve? You weren't in alignment, or there was something, they weren't respectful, or they weren't loving like you are. They weren't dedicated or devoted to you. And so many of you want to claw to get that, and they don't have it for you. Let it go, people. Can you have acceptance for these things? It's the best thing for you, right? So you go over here and you say, what about that seemingly perfect relationship or job or whatever it is? Why didn't that work out? What was the missing component? And you come over and you say, you know what? There was not a mutual respect. There was not mutual love. There wasn't deep love. Have you ever done that? Your relationship's great until, the world doesn't work out so great and then they're out of there, right? That's, then you say, okay, loyalty and true love. True love is not somebody sticks with you because everything's going well, right? True love is you stick through everything together. That's when you make it really happen, all right? And same thing with a job. It's like, what kind of job would I work through problems and stick with because I loved it so much and that the people were authentic and good and whatever? Because stuff's always going to challenge you. So these messages, and I know I'm going off on this, but I want you to understand all the components of it. The fine-tuned message has to be, you don't have to have all the answers, just know what it is you desire. Somebody said they can't picture their ideal relationship. I said, I think you can. Right? Let's start with, an age range, a height. If it doesn't matter to you, then imagine what part of a relationship are you really looking for. So if you want a relationship, there must be something about being with somebody that you desire. Somebody who has the same interests as you. So start to name those things and write them down. I remember way back when I was dating, way back before I was married or anything, I had a list of my ideal person. And darned if he didn't show up, and I went through that whole checklist and it didn't work out. Why? I realized there was something really critical on that list that I had not thought of, and this is the fine-tuning, manifesting that I was able to do. He did not connect with my friends. We would get together, and I'm a very social person, and he would go off and watch television while we were all, getting to know each other and laughing and whatever. And I realized, wow, who would ever guess that I'd have to list that? So I put that on my list, and then a couple other things that I realized were very, very important to me. So that's how you can fine-tune it. Again, so let's say you go out with that person, you cannot make a mistake. You'll find out what you do and don't desire according to the experience that you have on the decisions you make at that moment. Never be afraid of moving forward into something. If you have a good handle on it, and even if you're not feeling 100% about it, if you move forward anyways because it seems like a great opportunity, you will always gain something positive from it. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes in the universe. There's only experiences and growth. And this is what we want to do. So the messages, you're fine-tuning your manifesting, and then the messages within that are constantly coming to you. Just remember, how am I feeling about this? And these messages come because they're always waiting for you to use your free will to make that choice. So when you get what you put out there and it's there and your feelings are not quite in alignment, you go, what are these messages that I'm receiving to interpret this? How do I know what to do or not to do? The universe will never tell you what to do, ever. It will present opportunities for you to do it. Otherwise, we're robots, right? Tell me what to do. It won't. I really want, I would love for, the enlightened being to come in the room and say, this is what you need to do. Wait, this opportunity will show up. Don't take this one, even though it looks great. I want somebody to tell me that. I really do. I still like the idea that I don't want to have to work at some things. It's like, I'm tired of making decisions sometimes, aren't you? Right? All right, so fine-tune your manifesting. Fine-tune your message. When you ask for a message and it comes back, know that you are given opportunities according to what you requested, and that you get to use your feelings to determine whether or not it's feeling right. Never bypass the power of the feelings. That is a message right there. My message is, that gut feeling we always say. This isn't feeling quite right. What is it? Everything looks perfect. Am I just afraid to move forward or whatever? But if it's a fabulous opportunity and you're still not feeling right, ask yourself what's missing. Then place that order with the universe, because you're going to fine-tune it. You're going to fine-tune your manifestation. And then other things will show up, like today for me. Something showed up and I was like, okay, this is like totally the opposite of what I just looked into yesterday. Total opposite of it. Took it up way a notch. Now it's missing another component. And I thought, geez. So, this isn't always easy stuff. But the messages that you will receive are actually you placing a message out there and a request. Because you want an answer. So you are actually connecting to your higher consciousness, which is going to give you all of the opportunities to make a decision as a human being. I'm sorry, we still have that responsibility, because through that we raise the frequency and transformation is happening, and we must make wiser, higher choices. This is when it's going to get very tricky in 2019. You will be required to make very careful, wise, positive choices about everything in your life. And everything you do and think and feel and say, whatever, is a message to the universe. And that transformation is going to happen or not happen according to what you're placing into the universal message. And it's going to give you back what you placed in and requested. You will get all kinds of messages. Start paying attention. But remember, I still have to make that decision. Let's use all of this. Did I see a sign? Just do it, right? Somebody said that before. Just do it. Or yes. Or your dad's, pet name for you shows up, or whatever. And you say, that's a sign that of a yes or a no. And you can meditate also. Ask the question. Now, here is a challenge with meditating and asking for an answer. If you are not clear and you are not in a very detached state of being when you go into that meditation to get an answer, your ego and some fears or frustrations or anxieties can give you answers that you think are a higher consciousness. All right, I know I'm hitting all kinds of areas here. I'm going to take a lot of these and break them down for you. But I want you to remember, message out to the universe is the message coming back, messages constantly. How are you feeling about it? How do you interpret it? Keep asking, keep fine-tuning that manifestation. What is it I truly want to know about? And what is it I want? What do I desire within that request? What is it I'm really looking to do here? So today I'm going to sit down and say, what is it I ultimately want? I'm going to make a fine-tuned checklist, because now I went out and really did a lot of homework, made some requests, got all kinds of messages and opportunities in them. What about these is not 100% right for me? And I'm going to make my list, and I expect very shortly to get absolutely everything off that checklist to show up for me. And I have total faith in that. So do that for yourself, and then ask yourself if you're willing to compromise on that request. If you are not willing to compromise, then don't take the action toward it. But know that if you do, you can't make a mistake. It will ultimately fall through and you're going to go right back to where you need to be. No mistakes. You'll gain some knowledge and insight from that because maybe you just didn't have a clear direction for yourself. All right, so once again, a very long video, but I want you to understand that you're orchestrating everything. So many times we think somebody's and entities over there giving us messages and stuff, and we're like, no, it's you, the higher consciousness. So again, we're going to keep saying we're one energy. Not you and I one energy. We are just it. There is only one thing. And so everything, every thought, every action, everything that's manifesting is your energy doing it. All right? Remember that you're doing it. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually doing that. Let's say, you concentrate on something and it moves, you're like, all right, there wasn't an entity that moved it. I did it. My power moved it. All right? So that is really what's happening. And we have a tough time wrapping our head around, like, I really did that. Move the mountain. And it's like, okay, somebody moved the mountain. No, you're moving the mountain because you are the very energy that the mountain will move because you shift in a different reality where the mountain's someplace else. I know, I'm not going to go off into that. Fine-tune that manifestation by using the messages, send your message out, and then if you don't know, you'll start to fine-tune it, pinpoint it, send it out, go with those feelings. How am I feeling about this? I still have to make the decision. Bummer, right? Seriously, I would like right now go, just make a choice for me and I'll do it. No matter what happens, I'll be okay with that, right? But I don't want it to just be anything. I want it to be exactly how I desire it to be. And it will be if I really pay attention to what's going on out there and say, what about this do I need to fine-tune? Messages going out, messages coming in. Look at them. Don't try and interpret, left brain. What is this? Analyze and stuff. Just say, how am I feeling about this? What is that? Well, this showed up. Why did this show up? How do I feel about it? Is it positive? Yeah, wow, I felt really good. And then later on that night, like I do, you wake up in 3 in the morning, you go, what about that is not completely 100% what I desire? So work through it. If you guys have questions about things, please post them in the comments. When you send me these really long, 2-pager emails, I can't read those. I'm sorry. Let's just put it this way. I don't desire to read them because my priorities are, writing e-courses and other stuff. So short and sweet is always good. You manifest your own reality. I can't do it for you. How do I do this? How do I do that? I don't know. Do it. Think it. Be it. Know it's done. Be the thing that it is. Be the person who has the higher job. Be the person that's in a loving relationship. Because the person that's in a loving, awesome relationship doesn't compromise or put up with crap from people. So you're wondering how to get that person? You would never date the other people that you may be dating now because the person that dates an awesome, respectful person would never even consider going out with some of the people that you might be going out with now. So you have to start to be that person. And it feels really right because you're going, well, that seemed perfect, but it didn't feel right. You're like, no, I'm the person who doesn't compromise with something over here. Oh, I'll put up with a little bit of negative or guy puts me down or whatever. No, you won't. Not if you want to be this person over here. You won't put up with a bad boss if you want to be the person who's respected at work and gets paid well, right? And all the things that you desire over here. Start thinking and being that person. We're going to do a lot more videos and I will, like I said, pull this out and get you to focus on one thing. So I hope that helped with the messages. I'm going to do a lot more videos on messages and interpreting them and the fine-tuning your manifestation. I hope this was helpful and I will talk to you in the next video. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Abundance flows to you. Health, wealth, joy, and enlightenment is yours when you decide you are that person You are that which exists right now. You get to decide. It's really that simple. Namaste.